Hey everybody, Ben Frederickson here alongside Jeff Gordon for a new episode of Inside Pitch. Gordo, the Cardinals are rolling along. They're celebrating historic milestones. They're increasing their lead against the Brewers in the division. And it's maybe time to ask, not so much about the Cardinals being able to push down the Brewers. Can they potentially catch either the Mets or the Braves to secure one of the top two spots in the National League and get that first round bye? Is this crazy talk? The Cardinals are talking about it internally. Should we believe this? Can they do it?
Well, they're within range, and it's certainly a nice target to keep the guys locked in. And you got to think that these games against the Reds in the near term could be helpful in that quest. But you got to go out west. And the other thing, Ben Fred, is at the end of the year, you would think all those games against the Pirates, so what? Actually, they've been beating some teams. They're not that bad. So it'll be interesting. Of course, you're going to be motivated at the end if you're still within range to try to grab that bye, obviously. And avoid the three-game showdown. So do they have a chance? Yeah, especially with two teams potentially beating up each other in the same division. But, man, there's still a lot for this team to do, Benford. They got to find more offense, more consistency. They got to get Goldschmidt going again. And, see how all the pieces start fitting together as they start envisioning their playoff roster.
They've set their targets on this goal. Right now, at the time we're recording this, the Mets are leading the three, 89 and 55. The Braves just behind them at 88 wins. But the Cardinals are at 84. They won 6 out of their last 4 games, which is as good as those two teams, if not better. The Braves especially, they got a bunch of games coming up against the Phillies. Mm-hmm. The Cardinals have something to play for. And I think that's the key of this quest. It's them saying, hey, we're not just going to say we're happy to win the division. It's them moving their goal again. When they came out of the trade deadline, they said, we're going to go win this division. We're not going to settle for a wild card. This is an example of them doing that again and trying to keep the pedal down. And you never know what can happen, especially to a team like the Mets. There's a lot of bad history there. Maybe they could come a part of the seams. Also this, how about the fact that the Brewers here, who have played the Cardinals very tight this season, still have a chance of catching the Padres and could actually be the team that meets the Cardinals in that wild card series if the Cardinals wind up third in the National League. Are the Cardinals to the point where they'd rather face the Padres in the playoffs than the Brewers?
Well, it's a good question. The Brewers we've seen here more recently, you may not want to face them. They finally got it together, and it's certainly a tough game, and the historic Wainwright-Molina game didn't go their way, but they're playing much better. And they've had some pitching matchups that have been, hugely problematic for the Cardinals. So you would like to, it's hard to say with San Diego. They've had some history against some of those pitchers as well. Tough call. It would be terrible to crush the Brewers in the division race, see them in the wild card round and lose to them. That would be painful.
And they're 9-8 against the Brewers so far this season. So that actually could be one of the best reasons to really reach out and try to grab that first round bye. And who would have thought, here we are not too far from the trade deadline when the Padres grabbed Juan Soto, and we're wondering if maybe the Padres would be a better matchup for the Cardinals in the first round. It's in their hands. They're going to need some help from the Mets, from the Braves. But if the Cardinals keep churning along, taking advantage of some down teams, then they've got a real chance here to make things interesting. Not just getting in the postseason, they're going to get in, but could they actually get a first-round bye in this new expanded playoff? Keep it locked at STLtoday.com for all of that coverage. For Jeff Gordon, I'm Ben Frederickson. We'll talk to you next time.